Hello, I'm Penny Slinger, and we're sitting in my studio in downtown LA. I've been living in LA for the last few years, since 2018. And the series of works that we're going to be looking at today came about during the pandemic. And I did a series of photo collages during the pandemic based on myself in a box called My Body in a Box, where I was trying to express the sentiments of our sheltering in place mentality and all the fears and traumas that we were living through. As the pandemic went on, I felt the urge to get out of my box. We took a trip, and the trip was a pilgrimage to Utah to go to the natural wonders called Bryce and Zion. These amazing formations are a gift from nature, and I wanted to experience that now. So we took this trip, and on the trip I took many, many photographs. And here we see Bryce here, and this is on the road, in fact, that I took this shot out of the window. And the idea was to celebrate nature, to feel the expansiveness which we hadn't had during the pandemic. And one of my favorite subjects is the feminine form. So in this series, I wanted to bring together, very simply and dramatically, the feminine form with the form of nature, so that we could reclaim and reignite this connection with Mother Nature that we all got rather distant from. And so a very simple formula. I've used a lot of collage techniques all my life and made quite complex collage forms, both analog and digital. But here I wanted to have this one idea of one woman and these beautiful rock formations. So hopefully they speak of the feelings, all these feelings that you can feel just riven in the rocks by water and wind and time, and to bring those together with the beautiful women that I photographed here in my loft space here. So we have now a new unity, a new combination, which hopefully can bring back an old remembering. I want us to remember what it feels like to see the feminine in nature and understand her as a living being with all her nuances, all her moods. So this is what this whole series did. I wanted to make a landscape of feeling through the natural landscape and the feminine being. So these digital collages are now reproduced in these beautiful G-clay prints, which are the artwork. They are the embodiment of the art because they don't exist anywhere else except on the computer and here where they're printed. So when you're getting a limited edition print, you're actually getting the original piece because these are unique pieces just created like this. And I hope that people who look at these will feel just a glimpse of all the things that I felt in awe of nature and in honoring the feminine form, because I've been trying to resurrect our acknowledgement of the feminine all my life. And in a way, I've been very critical in certain places and torn her to pieces. And in other ways, I've tried to re-establish and put her together again. And I put her together again with nature here, just as it always should be. So I made a series of physical art pieces, which these are just some of them. It was inspired by knowing that we were going to be able to do this exhibition together. Being a collage artist, sometimes people think, oh, she's doing collage because she doesn't know how to paint or draw. But in fact, I do have all those skills. So I thought it was important to be able to bring some of that into it. And I like to work in 3 and 2 dimensions. So you see in a piece like this, it's a painting, but it's also got a number of pieces from my crystal collection, so that I'm exploring the whole idea of the woman and the rocks in a different way. And each of the 3-dimensional and painted pieces are taking like just a another aspect to that. This is a live cast of a foot here, and again some of my crystals, and showing the stratification of the rocks and bringing them into unity with the female form again, in this case with a foot. And so this is how we've traveled through this different range, so that when people come to the exhibition, they're not only going to see prints, but they're going to see these paintings and these assemblages. And also I'm creating an animation using many of this whole series of images. So we'll see in the animation more images than are even represented on the walls, but they'll all be blended together so that people can enter a world. I think it's important to give people an opportunity to enter into a different world and give them an experience which can be visceral, not just a visual thing, not just an audio thing, not just a tactile thing, but trying to bring all the senses together so that people can lose track of where they were and arrive where they are in this new world.